What's up, guys? I wanted to dive into talking about the chest today and how it relates to posture and some of the exercises and stretches that I think are necessary for the chest. So, real quick, muscles involved with the chest. I don't like to include every little muscle because I think some just understanding some of the bigger muscles are going to help understand some the basic movements of the body and how it's supposed to move. So, to start off, I'll go over some of the anatomy. We got the humerus over here, the arm bone. The sternum is I just drew a line. It's that long bone here in the middle of the chest. The clavicle or collarbone, and I believe those are all the bones, and then the pec. The pec major is kind of represented as a bunch of lines, starting at the sternum and then kind of going into a single point over to the humerus. So the chest muscle starts at the sternum and then shoots up and attaches to the humerus for the most part. So the deltoid over here, it mainly attaches to the clavicle. I'm talking about the front delt. It'll attach here and then shoot over that joint and attach to the humerus. This isn't the chest, but it's so important because most people think whenever they're doing chest, they are just hitting chest, but in reality, they're probably actually hitting the deltoid muscle more and isolating it more than they are the chest. So I'll go over that in exercises. So I'll go over posture next, and this is pretty important because how you exercise is going to affect how your body looks. And I find that most people will prioritize chest over most other muscles in the body, especially the back, which is its antagonist in a lot of movements. So whenever you go into the gym, you exercise your chest, you make that gets your chest really strong, and it'll tighten the muscle. So over a long period of time of primary chest workouts, your shoulders will start to come forward, and that's going to lead to rounded back, forward head posture. So it's really important to realize what your chest is meant for. It's meant for pushing movements, of course, but it's also holding up your body and allowing your body to move. So make sure the back is strong because that's kind of the biggest factor in a healthy chest. So this information, exercising and stretching the chest can be a lot more helpful from the fact that you know how the chest works and you know how it doesn't work. So whenever you exercise, I always recommend starting with the basics. Make sure you master the push-up before you move much further on the bench. Make sure your body knows how to react in certain ways. And while it may seem silly to do various amounts of push-ups, it can be very beneficial on telling your body how to work and where to align. So when you exercise, I'll go over the push-up real quick. So just imagine I'm on the ground in the push-up position. My hands would be right under my shoulders, if not down. What you'll see is your hands may be up here, and that's a sign that your shoulders are wanting to take over the movement. So go ahead and get your hands down so that way your chest muscles can be activated. So from here, instead of just coming down, what you want to do is make sure you bring the elbows down, and this is going to give your chest what it needs to activate and stretch. So the down part of the push-up is actually a stretch. So you're going to come down, bring the elbow down, make sure the shoulders come back too a little bit. This is going to really stretch the chest. And then once you come up, make sure you push. So come back the same way that you went to it. So push, make sure the elbow stays pretty down. And then once you get here, make sure you push the shoulders forward to finish off the chest activation. So you'll be here, stretch, flex, stretch, flex. So this is really basic activation of the chest. No matter what kind of chest workout you're doing, make sure you're stretching and flexing. Try to work on full range. Don't overextend where you know you're not capable, because the shoulder joint is very mobile, so it's more prone to injuries. So be careful with training your shoulders. I think this is an important talk because you realize where to stabilize your shoulders in this movement. So stretching the chest is also really easy whenever it comes to knowing the anatomy, because all of these muscle fibers are shooting up high to the humerus. They're coming up. So what you'll want to do is, if those muscle fibers are starting here and they're shooting over to here, all you need to do, raise up the arm, and then all of this is stretched. So it's very important not to just come out to the side, because those muscle fibers are still kind of running this way. So we're going to raise your arm because it's connected all the way up here. So make sure you have plenty of distance between these 2 points. And that's a very easy way to stretch the chest. Real quick, if you want to increase your chest strength, make sure you go for lower quality reps. If you, let's say you're in the Army and you need a lot of push-ups done, make sure you still get them as is that how you say it? Anatomically correct, so that way you're not damaging your shoulders. But always make sure you're pushing correctly. And then stretching, I find that over 30 seconds, maybe even a minute, is the most reliable for getting that work done, because you can start stretching and maybe hold it for 30 seconds, but it's not really going to affect the whole shoulder anatomy the way it would if you were to just give it a little more time. And there's actually some good science behind that. Muscle fibers will tend to cling on for as long as they can, and then after 30 seconds they will start to loosen up for you, and that's where the big stretch comes from. So this is a pretty basic overview of the chest, and I hope you can expand on it in some more YouTube videos. There's a lot of information out there. So till then, steady gains.